Hello, my name is Mars, and welcome back to Scarlet Hollow. We are back with the Roads Untraveled update, and Willow Scarlet, it's been a while, life has been crazy, but I am ready to get back into it. So, we are at the library. Last time we were at the library in my first playthrough, I had the book smart trait, and it was painful because there was a lot of reading. It was all interesting, but I don't know. I feel like it slowed the episode down to a crawl, and it was not fun for my throat. Now, Willow is a reader. She is going to read. She's not going to say reading is for suckers. Um, and she's going to read all of the books, but I don't think I will be, if you know what I'm saying. I'm just going to kind of skim them. So first she's going to flip through them, and flip through is the appropriate phrase there. Veins of Scarlet, a history of the Scarlet Hollow coal mines. Yeah, she's talking about Silas Scarlet leaving the Civil War earlier. The mine prospered due to the growth of the railroad industry. It managed to evade the coal union. Andrew Scarlet built the surrounding town, and the estate. It culminated in the tragic collapse, the mine collapse, remember, in 1918. Charles Shaw, the co-manager of the mine, had loosened security measures to increase production during World War I, resulting in a fatal collapse and the deaths of over 160 men and boys, some as young as 10. That's important to read for the story. The casualties included Andrew Jackson Charlotte's son Theodore. His brother Enoch, who had taken over, managed to pull the mine from the brink of ruin. So this is how your family made its fortune. Silas Scarlet, soldier, woodsman, leader. This is just going to be the one that's totally sucking up to this dead guy. Colonel Everett J. Scarlet, one of 12 siblings, grew up in North Carolina. He joined the army in 1836. He rose through the ranks. He was ruthless and received the nickname Bloody Silas Scarlet. He was now captain. He got a tract of bounty land and settled into the hills of North Carolina in 1841. That land would become Scarlet Hollow. It started as a simple log cabin, built by Silas's own two hands, occupied by his family of 10. Silas, his wife, and their children. The logging business, rich reams of coal, and he made a mine, and that put Scarlet Hollow on the map. He saved what he could and bought the surrounding hillside at great discount, cleverly hiding what he knew of the land's true value. Asshole. And then he founded the coal mine. You're finished with this one. Okay. I'm definitely gonna skim most of this. Wampus cat. A large cat-like creature with a loud howling noise, often said to sound like a woman crying out in pain. I actually don't think I read this one last time. Or was it Tailypo that I didn't read? I don't know. I know that in my Booksmart playthrough, I did, like, get a bunch of extra entries for being Booksmart, and I mainly focused on reading those aloud and kind of didn't bother with the rest, but I don't know, they're interesting. Often linked to Cherokee legends, some cite the Wampus Cat as originating with the story of a woman who sought vengeance against a monstrous cat naming for driving her husband mad. She hunted it down, and by wearing a bobcat mask, tricked it into using its own vile magic on itself, freeing the people of their region from its evil. Others say the creature comes from the story of a woman who wore the pelt of a wild cat to witness forbidden hunting rites. The hunters of her village gathered to perform the rites, and she watched in secret from underneath the cat's pelt, but was soon discovered. For her indiscretion, she was fused with the pelt and transformed into a creature that was neither human nor cat, forced to wander the wilderness alone, feared by all. Her calls are those of great sadness and serve as a warning to anyone who dares go against tradition. Tommyknockers, this one's important. Enigmatic cave-dwelling creatures primarily known for causing mischief. They originated in Cornish mythology, spreading to the United States when Cornish immigrants began working in Appalachian mines. They're named for the knocking that can be heard from seemingly within the walls before a cave-in. According to some, the knocking serves as a benevolent warning. Others believe that the creatures take stolen hammers to the supports of mines and collapse them on whoever is unfortunate enough to still be inside. They are traditionally thought to be impish, leprechaun-like beings, but some claim they are the spirits of dead miners, forever cursed to haunt their final resting place. And the Tailipo, a small creature with a long tail and wide yellow eyes. I know I didn't read this one in my last playthrough, and it's a fun one, so I'm gonna read it. There was a hunter who lived in a tiny cabin in the middle of the woods, all alone with his hunting dog. One night, after a particularly bad week of hunting, both their stomachs empty, the hunter spied something out of the corner of his eye. Some small creature had gotten into the cabin through a hole, and before he could even figure out what it was, he'd drawn his gun and fired at the thing, his hunger guiding his actions. But it was quick, and ran back through its hidey hole and out of sight, leaving only its long black tail, shot off by the hunter's rifle. "Guess this'll have to do," he said to his dog, and threw the tail in a pot to cook a soup. He and his dog ate well that night, the tail filling them both up. The hunter crawled into bed, satisfied, and his dog curled up at his feet. He woke up to the sound of long nails scrabbling across wood. His dog was nowhere in sight, only a rumpled spot in the covers where he'd been, and in the gloom he saw two big yellow eyes staring right at him. "I want my Tailipo," a high, hoarse voice croaked from the darkness. "Go away!" he screamed at the thing. But it stepped closer to him, still shrouded in darkness, the sound of long claws dragging across hardwood accompanying its movements. "I want my Tailipo!" the creature growled again. "I'll get my dog after you," the hunter squeaked, his voice catching in his throat with fear, but there was no dog to be seen. "I want my Tailipo!" Before the hunter could so much as scream, the creature leapt from the darkness, long claws stretched out towards the hunter. No one is sure what the creature did to him that night, but the next morning, all that remained of the hunter, his dog, and his cabin was a chimney, standing alone in all the woods. And he got his Tailipo back. Happy ending. We're probably not going to share this story with Stella, considering it involves a dead dog. You're done here. Close the book and put it back. I think I'm all done. Let's check in. Alright, character time. Alright, if we're going with what Kaneeka's mom told us last night, I think we can rule out any natural disasters as what brought the ditch things here. But not nuclear incidents. Looks like our state has a history with those. What about y'all? Find anything? Before you can respond, Pixel leaps onto the table. Almost on instinct, Stella slams her book shut. Aw, hey Pixel. You might want to close your book. He loves to rip up any paper he can find. Huh, that's weird. Stella's here, but Gretchen isn't. That's fine, as long as she brought the good stuff. Huh, don't worry, little guy. I didn't forget your treats. Aw yeah, snack time. Crunch, crunch. Sorry if Pixel's bothering y'all. Hopefully he hasn't gobbled up any of our books. He can't stand the thought that people might pay attention to anything that isn't him. Hey Pixel, what do you think about the monsters we saw in the woods? I'm gonna say, why do you let a paper shredder freely wander a library? Why don't you mind your own business? Being a little rude to the animals, Willow here. Have you seen this little guy's face? How could I say no to that? Alright, we're not gonna ask Pixel about the monsters in the woods. We shared the fact that we can talk to animals with Stella last night, but now we're back to hiding it, I think. You decide to leave Pixel be. The cat curls up on the table, fast asleep. Cutie. Alright, I better get back to shelving. Let me know if you'll need anything. Why don't we just help look for Rosalina? Stella, what was that you were saying about nuclear incidents? You were talking about that Goldsboro thing, right? Huh, yeah. Apparently in the 60s, a B-52 carrying a live warhead broke at mid-air and dropped a couple of bombs. Fascinating bit of history there. The first of 2 bombs landed upright after its parachute got caught in a tree. Thankfully, it didn't go off. At the time, the government claimed that the bomb was unarmed, but later it came out that the only thing preventing a detonation was a single electrical switch which failed to trigger on the descent. And 60 years later, the second bomb still hasn't been recovered. What a twist it would be if that ends up to actually be the thing that destroys Scarlet Hollow. It's just the random unexploded bomb. Right. Its conventional explosive disintegrated in midair, but most of the nuclear material was made unrecoverable by flooding. If I remember correctly, they just buried it and sealed it up. If the bomb is somewhere else, why would there be so many ditchlings here? Yeah, Goldsboro is almost 400 miles from here. Not that we should be looking too hard at the disaster angle. Whatever those creatures are, they're biological. Look, you never know with radiation. We actually know quite a bit. It just melts you, it doesn't make monsters. And a 60-year-old bomb isn't going to explode on its own hundreds of miles away and kill us here. You never know. There could always be a whole underground society of bomb-worshipping mutants just waiting to blow it up. I've missed this. Veins of Scarlet. So about the coal mines here. Kaneeka visibly shudders. I get cold sweats just thinking about being in a place like that. I feel for the guys who work up there. I could never. Speak for yourself. I love a good crevice. A union-busting mine collapsed from poor working conditions. Color me shocked. Yeah, it's pretty awful. That's what that sculpture out front is for, commemorating all the men and children who died that day. Every kid in Scarlet Hollow learns about the collapse of 1918. Our teachers love to emphasize how many children they had working down there, probably to try and show us how good we have it or whatever. Low bar if you ask me. You know, that could be what the ditchlings are warning us about. Another collapse. I'm writing it down in the list of potential disasters. Yeesh, Stella, that's morbid. And besides, it was all Charles Shaw's fault. The labor market is way more strict now. There's no way you could get away with that kind of safety cutbacks he pulled. Y'all don't actually think the mine is about to collapse, right? Huh, no, I don't think so. Oh, had me worried there for a second. I hate to give Tabitha any credit, but the mine is safer now than it was back then. Still, what a horrible thought. You never know. What happened after the mine collapse? The book just kind of glosses over that. There was a union for a little bit, but it didn't last. There's not a whole lot written about the past century here. Yeah, the Scarlet Hollow mine isn't exactly the most ethically run business. I'm sure Tabby runs the mines better than Charles Shaw did. Still hasn't let the union in, though. There's a reason she and I don't talk. And it's a good reason. Let it be known it is a very good reason. I'm not sure I agree with the collapse angle, but the mines seem important. The whole town is built around them. Yeah, that's fair. They're bound to be relevant in some way. Hard to argue against that, but that doesn't really give us much to go on. And just because something seems obvious, it doesn't necessarily mean it's right or relevant. Since... did Oscar mention Rosalina? Maybe we should be concerned about Rosalina now. Any luck with Rosalina? Not yet. I knew a team would be a handful, but I didn't think it'd happen overnight. I'll probably head out once we're all done and check in on her usual haunts. Talk about Silas Scarlet. So, Silas Scarlet. Rich guy in the South, I should have known it wouldn't be pretty. Yeah, Willow's gonna say this. I'm gonna say it because I know it'll get me in good with Kaneeka. Willow says it mostly because she is embarrassed to be related to this guy. I mean, I love the social justice angle of Kaneeka very much. I don't know if that's what Willow's all about, but she's certainly not a fan of Silas Scarlet. Skyless? God, I can't talk. Yeesh, I figured old Money from the South wouldn't be great, but he, sure did some things to get where he was, huh? That book is a perfect example of why you should use multiple sources for your research, instead of trusting the first thing you read on a subject. Yep, dude was a monster. The mines made a lot of money during the Civil War too, and you can probably guess which side a North Carolinian business owner will be working for. Sorry you're related to him. How? I think Willow is going to be a little skeptical about all this, not in the fact that she thinks that the ditchlings aren't real, but she's going to be like, I don't know what that has to do with bad omens or creatures in the woods. Although, this town is stuck in the past and built on atrocities. It's already practically collapsing onto itself, no offense. Maybe Kaneeka would like it if we said that, because we know she does not like this town. Let's say that. No offense, but maybe that's why the ditchlings are here. None taken. Why would the ditchlings be here now, though? Scarlet Hollow's been like this for as long as I can remember. Do you think Wayne factors into any of this? I honestly wouldn't be shocked. There's something seriously wrong with him. Like, I can viscerally feel it in my guts. Maybe he's sick. Maybe that has something to do with what you saw in the woods. I don't know. I'd buy it. Maybe we don't talk about the Appalachian folk monsters. I feel like Willow enjoyed the book, but she doesn't feel like it's relevant at all. We should check out the mines. I think we should just head back into the woods. Ooh, is this a different option? Check out the mines or head back to the woods. Why don't we just help look for Rosalina? Are these like different options today? Like, moving forward? I'm gonna say I think we should head back to the woods. We know those creatures are there. Anything else right now is just speculation. Maybe this is like a different path. The two of you barely made it out of the woods alive last night, and I hate to bring it up, but Gretchen's gone. I'm so sorry, Stella. It's alright, I get it. I'm not super keen on going back there just yet. I'd much rather we at least try to get more information on what you're dealing with before we blindly throw ourselves into danger. The ditchlings are either exactly what Kaneeka's mom told us they were, in which case they're not what we should be going after, or they're a potentially dangerous cryptid we know next to nothing about. Okay, they both hated that. I feel bad. Willow's stupid. She says stupid things. And now she feels bad about it. I feel bad about it, and I think Willow feels worse. We might as well try and learn a bit more before we go back to the woods. Struck down. There's an awful lot of mine-related stuff in my notes. Maybe that should be our next stop. We can poke around, find out if anyone's seen anything weird. Just to clarify, you're suggesting we go to question some of the miners, right? We are not poking around unprepared in the actual mines, right? Right? Yeah, totally, 100%, I would never. We don't even have a good reason to go down there. Good, let's keep it that way. You know how I feel about mines. I promise, Neeks, we're just going to question some of the miners. Willow is feeling good about this. She's like, that's something I can do. And if that questioning gives us a good reason to poke around, say, a cool abandoned coal mine, then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. You can cross that bridge when we come to it. I am not going underground. I'm just messing with you. We'll stick to the surface. Okay, good. And hopefully we can find out what happened to Wayne while we're at it. I get it. It doesn't really matter what I say here. We're going to go along with your plan. Maybe... I think Willow would say this. She's a little hurt by this. She's hurt by this whole thing. And she's gonna snap. I get it. It doesn't really matter what I say here. We're going to go along with your plan. It just makes the most sense to start there. We can make it quick. Just question a few miners and be done with it. The fate of the town might rest on our shoulders after all. The only problem is Tabitha. She's not exactly going to be thrilled to see us snooping around the mines. We can be sneaky. I'll make sure to be a good lookout. She'll never even know we were there. Look at us, going out in the caper together. I missed this. I missed it too. Though, there is something missing. Reese. Alright, so this is the first time we're hearing of Reese as Willow. I'm going to take a sip of tea because that library portion did in fact dry my mouth out. As it did last time, but not to the same extent. I've really missed that dude. I can't believe how long it's been. Have you seen him lately? Nope. I tried to plan stuff, but he has been too sick. I didn't realize it was getting so bad. That poor guy. You know, we could just pop over and surprise him. Hell yeah, let's do it. See ya, Oscar. We'll let you know if we run into Rosalina. Thanks, guys. I'll keep y'all posted. Okay, this seems like a little bit of a... We don't know who Reese is yet, do we? Because we didn't talk to Stella and have her call him and everything. Reese's home stands at the edge of the forest wall, an isolated buffer cushioning the rest of the town from an unending wilderness. Reese, it's Stella! I brought some buddies, too! Shh, not so loud. He's still sleeping. Can I help you with something? The woman in the doorway stares directly into your eyes. You can practically feel simmering irritation washing over you. Hi, Dr. Kelly. We were wondering if it would be okay if Reese could come hang out? Okay, I'm a little bothered by this. I, as the player, have not had it explained to me who Reese is, so why are we just going to this random guy's house without... I feel like this is a little bit of a hurdle that the game didn't quite jump, because we didn't go to the diner with Stella on Monday. We didn't learn that Reese even exists, and this is the first time we're learning about him. And now he's just getting... We're kind of being plucked in medias res into the existence of this friend that Kaneeka and Stella have. I mean, I'm not complaining about the fact that we're going to his house. I love Reese. But I don't know. A little hiccup in the update, I think. Nothing strenuous, we promise. I'm not going to wake him up. If he's sleeping, he probably needs it. Whatever you two have planned is probably beyond what he can manage right now anyways. Oh no, poor Reese. It's just been so long since either of us have gotten the chance to hang out with him. I'm sure he and Willow would get along super well too. Let's lie to her. I've heard such great things about your son. Not true, but I mean, I guess this is all a lie. We're just going for a light walk, and I've heard such great things about your son. I'm only in town for a few more days, and it'd be a shame if I didn't get the chance to meet him. Dr. Kelly looks you up and down and sighs. Alright, you win. He's usually feeling his best around mid-afternoon. Why don't you come over tomorrow? We can have some supper and y'all can hang out for a bit. I don't promise that he'll be perky, but I'm sure it'll brighten his spirit to see you two again. I'm sure he'll be happy to meet you too, Willow. That would be great. I can bring a side dish. Maybe deviled eggs. Does he still eat those? No, eggs are a little much for him. They don't settle well. You can leave the cooking to me. I know what he can handle. Okay, I'll bring soda then. That's not... Okay, yes, fine. You can bring soda. Nothing with caffeine. Ginger ale, preferably. Oh, and leave the dog at home. Okay. No dogs. Thanks so much, Dr. Kelly. We'll stop bothering you now. See you later. Dr. Kelly nods in acknowledgement and quickly shuts the door. The sound of several locks clicking into place can be heard from within. God, that woman makes me so nervous. Are you okay, Stella? I'm fine. She used to be so nice when we were kids. Always had the best stickers when we had to get our shots. Maybe she's just stressed about Reese. Or maybe she's just nice to kids. Either way, I guess it's just the three of us. You gonna drive? Yeah, sorry. I don't like the thought of going up there without the van. Cool. I'll take my shortcut then. It shouldn't take long for me to get there. You're welcome to tag along, Willow. Don't worry. I won't be offended if you'd rather ride with Kaneeka. Either way works for me. Let's ride with Kaneeka. See you at the mines. Kaneeka is a careful driver, maintaining her control even though her old van bumps around on the unpaved mountain roads. She treats the tight turns with the fear they deserve, unlike your cousin, whose mood seems to make itself known through how aggressively she speeds around the treacherous bend. I like a careful driver. Thanks for indulging us in that little diversion. Reese's mom is scary. I've seen him in person maybe 5 or 6 times in as many years. And that was always in his house, with his mom right there the whole time. No one even knows what he's sick with. That sort of isolation can't be good for his health, no matter what his mom says. So what's actually going on with Reese? Good question. I wish I knew. His mom's been saying he's sick for years, and it's not like she's wrong about it. He's been a wreck the few times I've seen him. I just find it a little weird that his mom hasn't brought in any outside doctors, at least not any that I'm aware of. I mean, she's a doctor, but if your kid's been housebound for this many years, you'd think it was something you put a lot more effort into fixing. I don't know, I'm probably just projecting or something. Because her own mother is also... That's rough. Yep. Was the guy at the general store your brother? She asks curiously. Miles, yeah. He didn't do anything weird, did he? He was fine, I was just curious. Huh, that's good to hear. Sorry to jump to conclusions. I know you don't have any siblings, but I just wish he would grow up, you know? It feels like I can't trust him to do anything without leaving a mess for me to clean up. Don't get me wrong, he's family and I love the guy, but he sure doesn't make it easy. Do you have any plans to get out of this town? Live somewhere else? Because we already know she hates it here. Yeah, this wasn't the plan and it still isn't. I was actually a couple years into vet school. Top of my class, might I add, when my dad died. My mom wasn't up running the store and you've met Miles. I only wanted to take a semester off, help them get back on their feet, but it's been a year and change now. It's not just about my family too. The general store, that's the general store. If it winds up going under, it's hard not to imagine the whole town collapsing with it. Maybe I'll get to go back next semester. Let's not do the Dead Dads Club thing. You'd be a great vet. I've seen how thorough you are about research, and not everyone would care enough about their family to take time off like you did. Ah, shucks. I was really into biology during undergrad, and growing up around Stella and her mom gave me a special kind of love for animals. Can you please drive me out of town, like, right now? We could both just leave and go somewhere far away from here where neither of us need to worry about ditchlings or cataclysmic events. Whoa, there's no way I'm crossing Tabitha like that. The fact she brought you here is a big deal. She doesn't see people, she doesn't have guests. You being here has gotta mean something to her. And if she found out I was the one who drove you out of town, which she would, there's no telling what might happen. The Scarlets still hold a lot of sway in this town, even if your cousin's all that's left of them. And hey, I don't think there's a lot to worry about yet. The ditchlings are just some weird animal, right? If we just stay out of the woods, I'm sure it'll be fine. Do you have any other theories besides what we talked about at the library? I don't know. I don't think there's enough information yet to support any strong conclusions. Though I've been wondering if what you saw was maybe some sort of mutated animal, like a strain of hairless monkeys or raccoons or something. Do you know about Morgan Island? It's off the coast of South Carolina, and there's a whole population of rhesus monkeys infected with herpes, like 4,000 of them. Maybe the ditchlings are some kind of alopecia research monkeys. Which sounds ridiculous now that I said it out loud. Forget I said anything. Let's say those things were not monkeys. I saw them with my own eyes and they were way too messed up to be anything like monkeys. I mean, that doesn't rule out lab monkeys, right? Could be that whatever made them hairless also caused weird swellings or altered their proportions. But like I said, we don't have anywhere near enough information. You and Kaneeka sit in comfortable silence for the last few minutes of the ride. You and Kaneeka arrive at the mines before Stella. Stella's probably going to be another couple of minutes. Hey y'all, how was the ride? Did you run here? I'm scared that Kaneeka doesn't like me. Like, I think Willow is worried, but also I'm worried. You can read a lot in their facial expressions, and every time she frowns a little bit, I feel like, oh, I messed up somewhere, didn't I? I messed up. I want to be able to have a little bit of a pushback with her, like being able to say, like, I saw those things, I do not think they were monkeys. I feel like that wouldn't be too much of a slight on her, because she didn't actually see the ditchlings yet, right? But, ooh. I don't know. I want Willow and Kaneeka to be together so bad. Or at the very least, I want them to be good friends, but I know that they made romancing Kaneeka a little more difficult, at least in this chapter, because there is going to be... Not this chapter, in this version of the game, because when Chapter 5 comes out, there is going to be another check, so like, if you haven't romanced her yet in Chapter 4, you will get another opportunity to do so, to start her romance, but, ugh. I don't know. Did you run here? I have a feeling I might not make it, but at the very least we should try and be good friends. We still haven't had our one-on-one hangout in Chapter 3 yet, so I think it's all gonna be good. Yep, felt like getting a run-in. I didn't want to keep y'all waiting. You didn't run into any of those creatures, did you? Nope. That makes sense. They're probably nocturnal. I don't know if I should feel relieved or disappointed. But we're all here. What's the plan? I guess we just go talk to people. I guess so. I should probably be on lookout duty. I'm a bit of a persona non grata in the mines. Tabitha? Yeah, I might have tried sneaking in to talk to her a time or two too many. Willow's like, this is my forte. I'm gonna do good at this. We're probably less likely to get caught if only one of us is snooping around down there. I call dibs. I love to do a good sneak. I mean, talking to people does scare me, but she's not going to admit that. I do love a good sneak. You're going to do great. So, the plan. You know those cheesy old rom-coms where somebody wears an earpiece on their first date? Whoa, do you have some kind of surveillance set up in the back of your van that I didn't know about? What? No. I have a pair of earbuds with a really good mic. We can just do a group call. Kaneeka hands you a pair of earbuds. We can feed you questions if you get stuck, and Stella can give you a heads up if Tabitha's headed your way. Oh, but I don't actually have your number, do I? Huh, I don't either. I could have sworn we swapped contact info at some point. Weird. We really should have done this sooner. You quietly swapped contact info with Stella and Kaneeka. I guess we should part ways and start the call, yeah? Stella and Kaneeka break off, leaving you alone at the entrance to the mines. Your phone buzzes. Hey! Can you hear us? Try saying something. You're loud and clear. Cool, same goes for you. Nothing to do now but enter the work site. You pass through the unlocked fence and enter the property of the Scarlet Mine. Approach the nearest group of miners. We're actually going to talk to them this time. You approach the nearest group of miners, a blonde woman, a broad-shouldered man, and an old-timer. Their uniforms identified them as Harrison, Davis, and Zax. You got a reason to be bothering us? Seen anything weird lately? The miners look you up and down. Weird how? Like weird animal sightings? Nope. You've been talking to that townie. The one the boss gave a lifetime ban to. Wait, are they talking about me? Says Stella. Yeah, she's like a Bigfoot YouTuber or something. Her videos are actually pretty good. Yep, that's me alright. Aw, that's so sweet. But you know, now that I think about it, it's pretty weird. I haven't been seeing many animals at all lately. Used to be I'd see all sorts of critters. Now it's mostly birds. This is your first year up here, ain't it? Just not used to the seasons changing. All the animals are hibernating, that's all. I don't know, she's got a point. I've been up here 5 years now, and it's never been like this before. Ha, maybe it's that global warming then. I think they're calling it climate change now. Weird noises coming from the woods. Not a peep. We're underground most of the day, though. You know, I heard something unusual the other night. Thought it might have been an owl or something, but it didn't sound right. It was an owl, you're just not used to the local wildlife yet. Alright, we kind of dismissed Tommyknockers as an idea earlier, like we didn't even bring it up, so I don't think... We didn't even bring it up when we, were going over what we read. I can't talk, I'm gonna take a sip of tea. Yum. So we're not gonna ask about knocking in the mines. Maybe people getting sick, though. Like, more than usual? Nope, nothing like that. I feel fit as an ox. We have good working conditions in the mine, and our health is wholly looked after. I got a couple of other questions. Ask them about Wayne. Do you know anything about a guy named Wayne? Yeah, we knew him. He was such a cut-up, miss that dude. What happened to him? The miners shift for a moment, uncomfortably glancing at one another. Isn't that the guy y'all said was, he's gone. That's all that matters. I know some of the miners respond well to being pressed and others don't, but I don't remember who. What happened to him? What are you, some sort of cop? Oh yes, we have street smart. Keep it on the down low, but I'm working for a competitor. A unionized competitor. We're thinking of buying Miss Scarlet out of the mines. Part of my work here is due diligence. Really? I'd kill for a few more days off a year. Yeah, I hear those union boys get paid sick leave. I wouldn't mind some of that. I don't buy it. They're already looking for people to lay off, and I don't intend to be one of them. I love it here. They're laying people off? That's the first I've heard of it. I guess once you lose your job here, you're probably not going to stick around for very long. Tabitha is an excellent boss, very professional, and runs a tight ship. That's the honest truth. Don't go minding what happened to folks who left their post. And let's ask about the guy in the bus. So I met this guy in the bus. Wore a beanie and a shirt that said, "I want to, yeah." Great shirt. He said he had some friends working the mines up here. Does this have anything to do with what's going on in town? A lot of people wear beanies. Look, I just figured I'd ask. The guy made a memorable impression. Well, I can't say I know anyone like that. Sorry. That's all, thanks. Bye. You walk away from the miners. Approach another group of miners. We're not going to talk to Tabitha this time. We don't care about her. You head over to the next group of miners. You stop in your tracks, a shiver running up your spine, as an unfortunately familiar voice calls out to you. You shouldn't have come here. It's dangerous. Was that you in the garden this morning? She asked suspiciously. You don't have to be afraid of me. I am the only person in this town who truly cares about your safety. Don't forget that. Even if it's already too late to stop what's going to happen. Yeah? Where were you while I was being attacked by that mountain lion? I would have stepped in if the old man hadn't beat me to it. Clearly I need to be closer to you. Ugh. Before you can say another word, the figure is gone. Hey, Willow, are you still there? We've just been getting static from you. Interesting. I don't know if I've ever noticed that before. Why does Wayne cause static? Or is that a new development? Wayne got the jump on me. Whoa, I thought I saw you talking to someone down there. Are you okay? He said some real ominous shit to me. I am the only person in this town who truly cares about your safety, that sort of thing. What the hell is that supposed to mean? The plot thickens. This just means we're on the right track. I'm not about to back down. Whoa, so brave. Heck yeah, Willow, we've got your back. Approach another group of miners. Hey there, can we help you with something? Have you fellas seen anything out of the ordinary lately? Like what? Weird animal sightings? Don't tend to go on many hikes. Not exactly the nature-seeing type. After a full day of work, all I see is my bed. Maybe a few beers in between. Odd noises in the woods? I heard something a few nights ago, like nothing I've ever heard, some unearthly beast. I'm telling you, Isaacs, you need to take a sick day. You need rest, man. I've already taken a sick day this year. Can't afford to take any more if I want to have Christmas off. Tabitha. It can't be that bad here, right? People getting sick? You a health inspector or something? The boss looks out for her health. That's all on that front, thanks. Do any of you know a man named Wayne? Oh, I have street smart, so maybe I can talk to Isaacs. Oh, that's a street smart thing. You can have a one-on-one conversation with Isaacs. Wayne? You mean Sam Wayne? What are you asking about him for? Wait, have you seen him? No. Damn, I thought... He's dead, Isaacs. Get over it. No, come on, man. There's no way. How could he just die? I don't know. Why don't you ask his girlfriend? Yikes, do you think? No, no way. Just saying, he wasn't exactly the first fellow to fall for her, charms. Lots of heartbreak in that woman's history. Lots of jilted ex-lovers, if you catch my drift. Dang, who are they talking about? I told him not to get involved with her. I told him. I kind of ship Isaacs and Wayne, honestly. Like, not the Wayne as we know him, but Wayne, the guy he used to be, Sam Wayne. Isaacs clearly had a thing for him. And it's tragic because Sam is clearly not with us in the way he used to be, but I don't know. Maybe that's our current Wayne's destiny as well, is to be with this scrawny little twink, you know? I'm sorry I said that. Do y'all know this guy I met in the bus? He said he had some friends up here. Here we go again. You gotta tell us about this guy later, Willow. Maybe, what's he like? Tell the group of miners about your encounter on the bus yesterday. I think I probably remember someone like that. Yeah, he's no friend of mine, that's for sure. Never met him. Don't know him. It's settled then. Your mysterious bus stranger is a ghost. Or he was lying about knowing people here. Or his friends were here for a bit and left town. Sure, those are perfectly rational explanations, but so is a bus ghost. All equally rational theories. I mean, I'm pretty sure that bus guy's friend who came up here was Wayne. That seems like the most logical explanation. If bus guy wants to remain relevant to the story, his friend would have been the one who died mysteriously, you know? Aren't you ghost skeptical? How is a bus ghost a rational explanation here? Part of being ghost skeptical is keeping an open mind towards all manner of potential paranormal encounters. Let's ask him about Tabitha. Now, why would you go and ask a question like that? Are you trying to insinuate something? Since the other guys mentioned that Tabitha runs a good ship, now Willow's a little curious. Horrible woman. Now, fellas, let's not go besmirching the fine gentle lady. If Smith is right, she's got a lot to answer for. Alright, fellas, I think we better cool it and get back to work before any of us say something we regret. You're probably right. Should we check in? Just as a heads up, the only group I still see out there is pretty close to the main office. It might still be worth talking to them, but I don't know if I can give you all that much of a warning if Tabitha comes out. I'm talking to one last group of miners, and don't worry, I'll keep an eye on Tabitha's trailer. Good luck. Aw, no Isaacs? Going around asking questions, huh? Stella wasn't kidding when she said these miners were dangerously close to Tabitha's office. Be checking your surroundings, making note of any shadows you can melt into at the first sign of trouble. You don't look like you're from the Inspector's office. Have you noticed anything strange around here lately? I wonder why I couldn't, like, nod to Isaacs and get his number. That's usually a thing I've been able to do when I do street smart playthroughs. Interesting. I wonder why. All kinds of weird stuff happens in these hills. What sort of weird do you mean? Weird animal sightings? I saw a raccoon with a big old tumor last week. Smooked be something awful. That's nature for you, not always pretty. That wasn't a tumor, it was an egg. There are these things in the woods laying eggs in the animals. I knew it. I knew there was something weird about that raccoon. I believe it. There are things out in them woods nobody's ever seen before. It's still wild country, even if we've carved it into pieces. I know I, for one, ain't gonna go near them trees until some scientist folks come and sort out whatever's going on out there. Maybe I should cash in some sick days and go see my cousins in Nashville, just to be on the safe side. Any noises from the woods? All the time. Howling, screaming, all sorts of fiendish caterwauling. See, it's good to talk to these guys, because they actually have their eye on the ball. Probably just screech owls and bobcats, the old coot. Might be, might not be, but I heard something the other night that sent the fear of God shivering down my spine, I tell you. I saw what made that noise. Pale, hairless, and horribly misshapen with little twisted up faces. The two men stare at you, a look of disquiet in their eyes. I never heard of anything like that up here. Damn, that almost sounds like a ditchling. My grandma used to tell me stories about them when I was a little kid. And that's a good line, too, noticing that Sybil isn't the only one who knows about the ditchlings. I guess it's not just my mom. People getting sick? I mean, some of the older miners, sure, but I wouldn't call that unusual. It's all in that front. What can you tell me about Sam Wayne? Oh ho ho, he got himself into trouble, didn't he? Why, you seen him around? What's that young buck up to? I've heard from some of the other folks in camp that he had a nasty spat with an ex. And disappeared not long after. Ha, you mean the boss? For as I know, that never ended. Stella audibly gasps. Yeah, I figured he just ran off to live in that big mansion with his bail. The thought of a strapping young man like him with that sour-faced broad always left such a bad taste in my mouth. Oh my god, gross. As if you wouldn't fall on your knees if a woman of means showed the slight bit of interest in you, or any woman at all. Fair enough. But I suppose this begs question. Did she run him off, or did some jealous son of a bitch oust him? Wait, are you talking about Tabitha? Yep. Dang, I figured that's what they were getting at, but it's weird to hear it out loud. You good, Stella? Yeah, I just had no idea. Do you two know about the mysterious stranger who bothered me on the bus? You tell the miners about your encounter yesterday. I've never known anybody in my entire life. Anybody? Really? How about you, Tate? Yep, never known a soul. This is going nowhere. Let's face it, Willow, whoever you met on that bus is one of those loose ends you'll just have to live with for the rest of your life. What do you think of Tabitha? The two men shift uncomfortably. Not the kindliest woman I've ever met. She runs the place all right. Tell that to all the boys she's been laying off lately. Keep going around saying that and see how long till you're one of them boys. All I have to say is a mine that's doing well doesn't go around laying off its workers for no reason. I'm not so sure any of us are going to have jobs in a few years. Tate, you're a damn fool. You're going to be next if you keep up that kind of talk. So be it, but a man needs to speak his mind sometimes. That's all. Thanks for the help. My pleasure. Willow, I think we've got a problem. By the time Stella finishes her sentence, you've already ducked around a corner and out of sight. Meet back up with Stella and Kaneeka. We don't want to talk to her. You continue back towards Stella and Kaneeka, moving from shadow to shadow and keeping out of sight. Alright. No Isaacs. No Isaac's encounter, but although the meat of that wouldn't happen until chapter 3. I wonder what like specific combination of answers you have to give in order to get that out of Isaac's. Or maybe they cut that. Maybe they cut that branch entirely. But I know that that's like a street smart thing. So I don't know what happened there. I think we're gonna pause it here. Because now that we're seeing Rosalina, we're gonna transition into actually going down into the mines, and I want to save that for next time. Until then, though, I have been Mars, and I will be back with more Scarlet Hollow.